There was a ton of trauma that happened from the age of 5 till I was 9 years old. You know, sexual abuse, locked in a garage, inhaling gasoline. My stepfather tried blowing my head up with a shotgun. I mean, there was a ton of trauma as a child. My mother slit both wrists right in front of me and my sister. I ended up going through a couple foster homes, then went to a co-ed school called Warehouse Point State Receiving Home in Connecticut. I was there till I was about 10 or 11. And then I went to this school in Great Barrington, Massachusetts called Eagleton. And I was in Eagleton from the age of 10 till I was 15. I guess I just had a chip on my shoulder due to the abuse and everything. And I was on the streets. I got involved with some affiliations, I guess you could say. And I was involved with that for a while. I went through that for years. And then when I was 22 years old, I got arrested for assault on police officers in Torrington, Connecticut. And I was forced to do 18 months in jail. Got out of jail, I had to do a 45-day program at this place called CBH. And that was the first time I was introduced to recovery. And I went to AA and at that time. And I had almost a year clean. I had met a girl in the program. During that time, I didn't get a sponsor. I didn't work steps. I didn't do any service work. I didn't get a higher power. I just went because I didn't want to go back to prison. Didn't want to go back to jail. So I did what they told me to do. Married her, and I just kept being what I call a functioning addict. I was going to work with my girl. We ended up getting married eventually. She gave birth to my son. I'm still using recreationally. And it progressed, and that was when I was around 22 years of age, and I got introduced to the crack cocaine, and I started doing that, and 11 years went by with her, and she got sick of it eventually, and so she's like, either you stop or I'm leaving you, and I'm taking the kid. So I went to detox again, and I kept trying to quit, but I wasn't desperate. I didn't want to quit. I was doing it because you were telling me to do it. Anyway, the long story short, she took my son anyway. Took my son away from me, which she had every right to. I don't want to say I was a bad father, but I was sick. After she left me, I went down a major downward spiral after the divorce. That's when I started getting hooked on dope. I was smoking crack. I was selling drugs. I ended up going to Bunnell, and I was working, and that was when I was introduced to ice. And I met ice. I was homeless in a tent. I had this little small job, I guess you could say it was a job, where I was going to donation boxes and picking up clothes, and I'd load up an 18-wheeler, like the trailer, but I was getting high still, drinking, living in a tent, smoking weed, smoking crack. Now I'm smoking ice. And then the day came where I was broken. Nobody told me to get clean. I wasn't on probation. The thought of my son wasn't even in the surface of my mind. I was terrified I was going to die. And John gave me the number to Foundations to Freedom. And I called. They offered me a place here at Foundations. I've been here about 7 months tomorrow. Will be how long I've been with them. I graduated. And since I came here, they said, get a sponsor. I got a sponsor. They said, work the steps. I worked the steps. I talked to a lot of guys. I'm like, just let go of the wheel. I was like, if you let go of the wheel, miracles will happen. Just stop trying to control stuff. Just go with the flow. I was like, and once you grab that wheel, for me as an addict, it's going to go off a cliff. And I believe I'll die next time. I truly believe I'll die next time. Foundations has saved my life. It's not worth it at the end of the day to play Russian roulette with my life. And I did that for forever. And I choose not to do that today. I wake up every day and I pray to the God of my understanding. I do a gratitude list. I call my sponsor. I go to meetings. I work my steps to the best of my ability. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. Do I have a lot more growth that I need to work on? Absolutely. But no matter what, I just don't need to pick up. In my past where I went to rehabs, and the rehabs were great. You're in there for 9 months, but then you get out and reality hits you like a ton of bricks, So the one thing I loved about, and still love about Foundations, is you come in here and you're not locked in here. for 9 months or 6 months. You're able to come in here, they give you that structure, gives you a program, teaches you how to clean, make your bed, go to work, be a responsible, productive member of society, and set up goals for when you graduate or, when you decide to move on. And you're not lost. You're not like, and you're not so overwhelmed by life. You're involved with the real world. You're not just locked in a building for 6 months and then, okay, here's your graduation. You go back out and now you gotta deal with life. I see myself giving back and helping out those, and hopefully, God willing, being able to save a life or two. And by me doing that, saving my own life is the most important thing. And the gentleman I work for, he gave what was so freely given to him to me, right? So he trained me and brought me on, and I see a future with that. And that is the beauty of this program, is to lift up another person and just let them know it's okay. It's okay. I've been there. I understand. And that's just really where I'm at. Like, I really have this big heart for people in recovery. It hurts when I see people go back out, and it feels great when I see people make it back in. Very few do. Very few. And it's sad. It's sad. But it also isn't something that I believe will ever take me out. It just lets me know I care. I care, and I love those around me, so.